Crestfallen. What can I say? As well, all of you will be watching. Gutted that we've been knocked out of the Champions League. I mean, this is going to be an unscripted video, but I'd like to start with something more drafted because it's the only way in I can really think of to this video. It's about an essay that I'm currently writing for my Masters in English Literature, and I think it might be pertinent to this Arsenal team or the discourse around it and the Champions League semi-final defeat to PSG. It's an essay on the idea of chance in the novel in the mid sort of 1950s and how the novel as a form became charged with random events, with contingent moments. There was a desperation at the time, post-World Wars, that suddenly what had gone before was no longer the adequate way of representing reality in the novel form. That adherence to plot, the importance of character, a narrative controlled by the author, that was no longer a viable strategy. So where do Arsenal come in? As much as we want to try and assign reasons for coming just short, to think that we, and also myself as a self-proclaimed fan analyst, has the right framework to cautiously predict events, sometimes it isn't any more complicated than saying we just need a couple more great players, a couple less destabilising injuries to our most robust players, and a few less rubbish decisions. And also just to have the ball drop for us, please, footballing overlords. That was my analysis whilst in the heat of the moment watching the PSG game. I think sometimes you just have to accept that a variable will prove elusive. In the moment, it's all chaos, and it's probably not much more complicated than that, guys. My research, though, on this essay has become more nuanced as time has gone along, because I found that this tension between chance on the one hand and probability, rules, actually develops in that period as more of an interplay. In other words, chaos actually begins to flourish with the right amount of structure, with certain principles surrounding it that allows that randomness to be textualized in literature. It's impossible to actually leave and be okay with leaving everything up to chance. And this is where I want to move into more of an off-script discussion, because I've seen people say that we need more risk. Arteta needs to risk more. I'm not here to disagree with you. And on this channel, as you know, it's always about simply having a, hopefully informative and enlightening conversation. But what I would say is, what does risk look like for you? What does it look like with this group of players? A group who didn't lack quality in both boxes, but superstar quality. Genuine world-beating talent. Because the group is a very good group of players. Let's not mix two things up. And it comes across a tie where our total performance levels were, in my humble opinion, of the better team. So superstar quality in both boxes. And that's what we've heard rebounding from Mikel, for over really 18 months now. I mean, can we have a discussion about tweaking areas we focus on in how we look to take the squad forward? For example, how we attack in bigger spaces that, it's been a perennial discussion on the channel. Should we be looking at how individuals are promoted or not, and how the squad is built in relation to that? Should we now demand success in the form of trophies now. Yes, yes, and yes, I would answer all of those nominal criticisms. But that doesn't invalidate that we've been led to this position that we are in now, where we are probably as close as you can possibly get without without winning something big. I mean, that's sometimes all that I can really just get out to you. You know, we are probably as close as we could possibly be. And if quality is that final driver transcendent of tactics, then it's not a risk and Arteta discourse necessarily. Can he do more in that regard? Possibly, but I'm not prepared to put a full stop either side of that, especially when, if we look at it as well, and I want to say these are some of the things that I've been big on praising. Arteta has made us the fluidest team in England, one of Europe's most chameleon-like outfits, who have adapted to so many contexts before. Is that riskless? I'm not sure if we're using or framing it in the correct way, but this is what the discussion is here for. I mean, we've been taken to this position, like I said, where you are as close as possible, but I don't want to reduce at the same time the video to that. It's a player-led sport too, and just like alluding to the beginning, the author who doesn't have the same level of control over his novel anymore, he still writes it, but it's a combination now that we're looking at for Arsenal when we're looking at what we can maybe source from outside of ball striking, which I think people have their views of, but it's not just the finishing moment, it's passing, it's crossing, it's releasing. We also are really wanting that unstoppable dynamism, someone who asserts themselves in the box to the drop balls as well. And it's also a mindset, not in any one position, but added to the qualities in the squad, if that makes sense. That's what we're looking for now. If football was an exact science, if it was a formula or an algorithm to follow, it wouldn't be, well, this season, wow, it's taken it out of us, hasn't it? But it wouldn't be the type of game that I've, especially this season, that I've come to know, and I feel like I've learnt so much from this season in terms of how I view the game's chaos and how you still need that framework to play in, and then it is really after that just a straight shootout, as the Inter Milan-Barcelona tie felt and as the Paris Saint-Germain-Arsenal tie felt. Because, I mean, let's talk game plan last night, which is still absolutely critical. I can't fault it because it focused on exactly what I wanted us to in the preview, you know, how we target and use our specific physical advantages in the right areas, going long to Merino, using our height, using our central second ball and knockdown winning. We had that fluid, rotating, almost midfield five of Partey, Lewis-Skelly, Rice, Merino, Ødegaard, shifting around, not followed by any of the centre-backs, which gave us room and time on the ball. We pressed without any hesitation. We squeezed the right areas of the park. But it wasn't enough. And I think rightly, people are, and I am, I'm fed up of that feeling, that same feeling. I mean, I look at the team and we have genuine world leaders in Saka, in Rice, in Saliba, in Gabriel isn't too far off. We've got potential possible world leaders of the future in Myles and in Ethan. And I mean, we've got so much other quality as well too, but elsewhere, I should say, it's a really thick-skinned team. I've used that term a lot this year. And I think, though, it's a team that now are desperate for a summer that needs to be approached with the mindset beyond all doubt. I've said that before, I think, but I'll return to what I've said, particularly after the January window, and what I felt was a financial abdication of the season from the higher-ups, from beyond Mikel. And I'm going to keep returning to that phrase because I think it is quite apt, and we can have our criticisms of the summer that's already gone. And I'm not saying that any solutions in January sourced through the market would have alleviated the points deficit in the Premier League. That's not the point. It's, first of all, the principle and the ambition, but actually, no, the Champions League here. And I don't want us to forget that, because that feels like still a big market, and I don't want to let myself lose touch on that. I don't know if that makes sense. And it's something I will keep returning to, because as we've said on the channel, there has not everything has been done perfectly right this season, on Mikel's level, on the players' level, on the board's level. And I don't have unlimited patience. Something needs to drop. I'm distressed. I'm angry. I'm just sad. I'm just sad that it didn't transpire in a more poetic way the denouement of this season. But I'm still so supportive of this project. Some people, look, I think the vast majority of people share that sentiment, but I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm here to say that there is a demand to have that beyond all doubt mindset, to lick our wounds and make it right now. Again, like I said, I don't have infinite patience, and there is a threshold that you get to, of course, but I am still so supportive of the project, and that this team will come again, and that we are here now, in the now, competing. I'm grateful for that, and grateful that we will be, at least we should be, for many years to come. And it is hopefully by process of just being there, something will drop, but it needs to be put beyond all doubt now at a whole club level. I don't really know. I think that's all I have to say. That's sort of, I guess, if I had to collect my thoughts on Arsenal in the heat of the moment now, this is how I would articulate them. I don't know if it's come out in the right way. I don't know what tone it's come out in, because, you know, they might distill over the next week or so, and I'm sure I will have more videos out for you guys. But this is what I'm immediately wanting to say in the aftermath. There'll be blind spots, there'll be things that I've forgotten, but this is what I wanted to get across. A balance in perspective, and also, like I said, I'm a fan analyst, but I'm also just someone who's really gutted and really sharing a lot of the feelings. I'm not aloof to those feelings, and I also know it's a privilege to be in this position that I am, where people listen to my voice and to how I approach the game. And I want to say thank you. And I don't want there to come across you having to share my views in this video, follow them to a T, but I want to get across that I'm someone who's just trying to understand, to follow this team, to watch every game 2-3 times to really understand and give you guys, again, not a voice that you can splurge out yourself and recapture word for word, but just a process, a way of thinking that can help understand this game of football. That's all I've got. I really hope you've enjoyed the video, and hope that it can try and put in place some of the emotions that we're all feeling after being knocked out. I'll have some more stuff in the week for you, I'm sure. But thank you guys. Again, I'm really honoured to be in the position I am, and there will be much more to look forward to in the future, especially when I'm done with my master's program. But thank you guys so much, and let's put it beyond all doubt now.